Where are laid off tech employees going?
The tech sector shed more than 386,000 jobs in 2022 and the first half of 2023.
80% of Twitter either left or...
Every single Silicon Valley engineer is becoming a fisherman. Every single one is becoming a construction worker / farmer. They're building with their hands. They're getting out to the field, they're tossing the keyboard in the trash, and they are becoming a strong, powerful, independent blue-collar worker.
Or quit or was pushed out, laid off, whatever you want to call it, and yet the website still runs.
Even though 2/3 of tech workers are men, more than half...
Hate that fucking argument. Yeah, Twitter still runs, bro, but they kicked out 80% of the workers and they lost 80% of the value. 1 to 1. It is literally 20% as valuable as it was. So it's more unprofitable than ever. Like, it's not like it was a massive success. It wasn't like it was this brilliant genius move that saved the company. The company's in a terrible spot.
Those laid off in 2022 and 2023 were women.
Approximately 50,000 H-1B holders lost their status due to unemployment.
Over the course of this year, Canada is going to be developing...
I'm pausing again. H-1B is something I'm only now learning more about. I knew about it at NVIDIA because it was a big part of... NVIDIA has a lot of H-1B visas, but it's only now, like, the scope of it is fully aware to me that the people on an H-1B visa working at a company are truly captured. They have no option. Like, they really can't negotiate well for salary. They can't do anything because if the company decides to let them go or fire them, they have to leave the country. So they're totally fucking locked into that job. Even if it's like a nice higher end job, it's so much more of a desperation moment for them. And like layoffs are even scarier to them because it could mean like being kicked out of the, it's not a great system, especially for like incredibly talented high skilled workers that are like benefiting the economy from day one, totally net gain. It's just like, it's just incredibly bad.
A specific stream for some of the world's most highly talented people.
I've heard from some people that the higher paying jobs, the salary can be 25 to 30% lesser. Yeah, they can just pay them less. They can pay them less because like if they don't take it, they can't live here. They get kicked out of where they're living. So it's fucked up.
That will be able to come to Canada to work for tech companies, whether they have a job offer or not.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
Thanks for meeting with me and Rosie.
Sorry to pause again, but we just showed this woman. This is the one from Bargaining Monday. She's the one that recorded herself. I was talking about the laid off influencers. What's funny about this woman, Brittany, is that, look, she gets fired. It's not cool. It's a layoff. It sucks. But she only worked there for like 5 months, I think.
We have an important meeting today. We finished our evaluations of 2023 performance. This is where you have not met Cloudflare expectations for performance.
Cloudflare.
We decided to part ways with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there.
This is a viral video posted by Brittany Peach, a former employee of Cloudflare, a San Francisco-based tech company. The video posted on January 2024 and got so much attention that it may have kicked off a new subgenre of viral video. Watch the person get laid off in real time. The tech industry is again seeing widespread layoffs after a rough 2023.
LinkedIn just laid off nearly 700 employees. Qualcomm is planning to cut more than 1,200 jobs.
Google, Amazon, and Snap are among the companies continuing to downsize.
And the start of 2024 seems no different as layoff announcements, especially in the tech industry, continue to make headlines.
Units affected.
This is Squeak's erasure, by the way. It's fucking insane that Squeaks gets zero mention in this fucking 40-minute video about the true pioneer of laid off influencers.
Also include hardware, engineering, ad sales. So far, last night, CEO Sundar Pichai told his workforce to expect more cuts.
An Amazon spokesperson did confirm those layoffs. The head of Prime Video and MGM saying in that memo that the company is making some of the cuts to prioritize investments for the long term.
Layoffs are also plaguing industries like
Amazon
healthcare,
can invest for the long term.
However, the tech industry is the one that's been dominating the headlines.
This layoff and everything that's happened in tech, I think is pretty eye-opening. You know, like you can have your dream job, you can have your, it's my dream to work for Microsoft, or it's my dream to work for AWS. And you get there and you realize, okay, it's just like any other job. It's a great place to be. There's a lot of great perks, but at the end of the day, they can get rid of you like that.
The layoffs to the start of 2024
yeah.
signal a dramatic shift in the tech industry. We're going to continue.
Whose dream is to work for AWS? You don't see little school children dreaming of one day helping make Andy Jassy and Jeff Bezos more money by lowering cloud compute costs? That is every fucking child's dream. That's how they know they're having an impact.
Continue to see layoffs happen as the future of work has changed, as the future of technology has changed, and
yeah, but it's not that crazy because AWS is just a good paying job. It's just a good paying Amazon job. Maybe not AWS specifically, but like if you ask a lot of graduating classes in college right now, their dream job would be somewhere in FANG, you know, or one of the big tech companies.
As investors, the appetite for risk and growth versus profitability has dramatically changed as well.
So why are big tech companies and other industries laying off tens of thousands of workers at a time when the U.S. economy looks strong on paper?
Good question. Good fucking question.
The start of the COVID-19 pandemic was a dire economic event, at least at first. The tech industry, though, boomed. In 2020, tech's top 7 companies added $3.4 trillion in value. The Fed's emergency moves to bolster the pandemic-hit economy, like cutting interest rates to near zero, helped boost tech stocks. This move helped the tech industry to expand.
Damn, look how much Zuckerberg hired. They fucking like doubled the company's size in 2 years. That's crazy. There's just no way that can be run efficiently. And I remember that happened at Twitch. I mean, when Twitch went from 100 employees to like 1,200 employees so fast, nobody even like knew who their manager was. Everything was so mismanaged. And there were so many people that didn't have any idea what they were doing in positions of leadership over new people who didn't know what they were doing. It was true chaos. I mean, Amazon's a bit different because like Amazon's the second largest employer in the whole country. 1.2 million of these or whatever is warehouse workers. So it's like, it's scaling up like a, you know, more of like a blue collar 9-to-5 type job. They're trying, it's not the same thing as like scaling up their white collar offices org chart where they have to figure out who reports to what and who does what and whose jobs make sense. And
Amazon added the most number of employees during this golden period, peaking at 1.6.
Was it chill to be a worker during the chaos at Twitch? Yeah, it was, because everybody that got burnt out by it just would play Melee for 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. During the peak of Twitch chaos, we had a group of like, I'm not kidding, 12 people that would be like constantly taking 2-hour lunches to play Melee, which is like the ultimate. But what I've learned since then is like, if that's happening, you should know this good time won't last. Now that I'm a little bit older, I just thought, you know, this is the way it is. This is awesome. You should know that like, this is a sign that things are about to crack down. Like Amazon's going to step in.
Million employees in 2021.
If you rewind before the layoffs, all the tech companies were really putting an emphasis on growth.
The fruits of success contain the seed of decay. Did you invent that? That's a beautiful line.
And so capital was really cheap, you know, so you could get loans, you could get money. Access to capital was really affordable. And then you see as interest rates went up and you start to see that growth in headcount didn't translate to growth in profitability, and access to capital became quite a bit tighter. You saw many companies start to hit the panic button. And so we saw these thousands and thousands of people get laid off all at once. And that was quite a shock.
80% of Twitter either left.
They're going to do the same thing with AI. They're spending so much fucking money on AI. And if it doesn't turn into profitability, they're going to have to eventually hit the panic button. It's the same situation. You cannot dump billions and billions and billions and not get revenue increases.
Quit or was pushed out, laid off, whatever you want to call it. And yet the website still
I'm sorry, I'm pausing a lot, but I have a lot to say about this. I have a lot to say about this whole thing. I was looking at a bunch of like, not the big AI startups, not like, you guys know OpenAI and Microsoft and Nvidia and Google and the really big AI companies, but I was looking at all of like the mid-tier ones, the unicorns, and it's like there is 20 AI companies that have a combined value of like 200 billion. It's like 10 billion, 15 billion, 5 billion, 2 billion. Combined value of 200 billion, and all combined, they make about $200 million. They're worth 200 billion and they make 200 billion. So like some of these companies are going to fail. There's a lot of like way overvalued shit. Like it's like the .com era. I mean, you see, some will be great. Some of these companies will be the next Amazon or whatever. And they're going to be fucking huge, but a lot of them are going to just fail. They don't have any revenue.
Do you think people are looking at Elon Musk and thinking, you know what? Do we really need all these people?
I do give Elon Musk credit for this, for kicking off and making this acceptable with Twitter, but a lot of the big companies decided to get lean and efficient. And this is where you kind of start to see the incredible leverage of what these tech platforms really have, which is they didn't need those people, right? They were hoarding the talent. It was an option bet, and it was a cheap one for them.
Yeah, I ask every tech CEO, do you take inspiration for what Elon does? Yeah. And they'll say on the record, no, we don't. We would never want to do that. But in the group chats, they're all like, wow, that was an amazing move.
Most miserable fucking group chat. Just a group chat, a bunch of tech CEOs glazing Elon and then firing their employees. That's fucking...
The artificial intelligence hype of 2023 is starting to have real-world effects in 2024. Major tech CEOs are doubling down their investments in AI. In January 2024, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced his plans to build an artificial general intelligence known as AGI.
Hey everyone. Today, I'm bringing
oh my god, it's so lifelike. Dude, look how good the AGI is. It's almost like a human. Not quite, though. I mean, it's a little too fucking robotic and the eyes are too weird, but like it is, he's almost made it. It's uncanny valley for sure.
Closer together to support our long-term goals of building general intelligence, open sourcing it responsibly, and making it available and useful to everyone in all of our daily lives.
All this investment in creating AI jobs, but at the expense of others. The recent report from Indeed shows that the number of job posts containing Gen AI terms has been surging.
So there's about a 500% increase in the number of jobs that mention generative AI. There's about a 6,000% increase in the demand from job seekers for these jobs. But there still is, I think, a mismatch the other way in that the total amount of demand for AI talent far outstrips the number of AI professionals.
Every company in every industry is trying to figure out how to use AI in everything they do. I mean, AI is going to create a lot more jobs as well, but at the same time, I would say that there will be jobs that will be automated.
So you think AI has already hit the business effectively?
Oh, absolutely. Especially in the tech sector. I mean, they've been talking about it for years now. The fact that you have more companies moving toward artificial intelligence, and they're looking at the fact that as opposed to paying somebody $200,000, $300,000 a year to do the job, I can actually use artificial intelligence to do the job that they used to be able to do.
This AI thing is real, it's not going away, and they can't have people holding them back. And so what they've been doing over the past year is finding places within the organization that they can trim so that they can get to a pace where they're shipping faster. So taking managers out, and then engineers who are skilled for a previous generation of technology, they're also leaving to make room for people who are more skilled for artificial intelligence.
AI is definitely playing a role in the layoffs that we're seeing. Automation has increased efficiency for some of the workers who are able to utilize AI to make marketing decisions, to analyze data, to serve customers more efficiently and effectively. So AI is...
who is using it for marketing decisions, and what would it say? I mean, I could see them using it as like, these people's backgrounds are pissing me off. Why? The books? What's wrong with having books as your background? I'm sorry. Is there a problem with having a bookshelf as your background to show off your literacy? What could be what is the problem with that? Fake ass unread books. I've read every book on this shelf. Shows you're into the wrong kind of paper. You would prefer if instead of a bookshelf of books, it was a bookshelf of money. I'm just stacks of paper back there. Wouldn't that be a really obnoxious flex?
Is a paradigm shift that is changing the way people work and changing the priorities of tech companies.
Right now, I don't see that there's a big impact from AI in these tech layoffs. Some businesses have maybe cited that they're trying to shift priorities.
Yeah, that's what I think. This guy's more right. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I know that AI is making some jobs more productive, and some jobs could be automated theoretically if it was like totally doable by ChatGPT. There's not a lot of like a job that is purely replaceable by current AI. Streamer, for sure. Streamer. I think it's like entry-level law, where they do a lot of like summarization. There's some, email type jobs that probably could be. I think some companies are saying they're doing layoffs for AI, and they're doing layoffs because they need to cut costs. Like, it sounds better. The press release is like, hey, we're AI future forward, and we have a real good plan for this.
Priorities, and they're letting some employees go to focus more energy on some of these generative AI tools. But I think it's important to say that That's very.
Oh, I want to say sorry. Some journalists have been 100% laid off. There's a lot of websites that were already slop journalism, and now they're slop AI journalism. And you can't even hardly tell a difference, but they replaced the humans. Financial Times? No, not Financial Times, bro. Everyone there is a human. Dude, it's so funny, Financial Times. I think Financial Times is you know, pretty good at giving high-level overview of the situation. There's people who are like super hardcore, never tax me, whatever, who call the FT the lefty. And it's just funny because on the front page of my FT today is an article that says, "Don't trust liberals." It's like right here staring me in the face. It's like, it's just funny because I think they're pretty honest in general. And so they're getting, it's an opinion piece, but it's funny on the front.
Then saying that companies are, well, we can let people go now because, you know, generative AI and all these tools are taking jobs.
The tech industry.
Bro printed out his For You page. Funniest way to describe a newspaper. Yeah, dude, I have a print version of my For You page. It's actually, I just wanted to hold it, so I printed it right out of the printer. I just can't, how do I scroll this thing? The end of cushy tech jobs? Bro, you know what I'm gonna miss? Are those day in the life TikToks. Someone in chat said, I once deadass tried to pinch to zoom on a book. Sorry, I just didn't want you to let that slide. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. Your brain is cooked like a fucking fried egg. You dead ass tried to pinch to zoom a piece of paper.
Data suggests an influx of layoffs in the tech industry starting from the second half of 2022 and peaking in 2023. Some non-tech sectors are also seeing widespread layoffs. A prime example is UPS. The courier giant raised eyebrows by announcing 12,000 job cuts in January. The media industry isn't immune to layoffs either. In 2023, the industry shed over 20,000 jobs. And 2024 looks no different as big names like Paramount, NBC, Sports Illustrated, the Los Angeles Times all have announced major job cuts in early 2024. The banking sector is also not shying away from cutting jobs. Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank are some of the big names that have already announced their layoff plans for 2024. It's worth noting that even though these mass layoffs continue dominating headlines, the labor market still seems strong. The U.S. economy added 353,000 jobs in January, much better than the Dow Jones estimate for 185,000 jobs,
Great.
with the unemployment rate held at 3.7% against the forecast for 3.8%. Experts are divided on whether the recent tech layoffs would trickle down to non-tech sectors.
Looking at the current job market right now, there's no evidence that we're going to see any trickling. Obviously, you know, kind of the jury's still out. It's still early to tell. But it's interesting as we look back at 2023. 2023 was a year of a lot of layoffs in the tech industry, and we didn't see.
This guy be a great streamer. Something about him. This guy playing Super Auto Pets. This guy on Balatro, dude, tearing up the charts.
See any of that trickle out. Even within the tech industry, which is usually, the government usually defines it as the information sector. We didn't see a very high layoff rate.
Get this guy OBS and binding
companies announcing layoffs, but those companies kind of carried an outsized share of the media because then once we rolled it all up, there was maybe about 1% of employment that was being laid off. So really, ultimately, the overall rate of people losing jobs to layoffs remains near historic lows.
It hasn't yet trickled down to the rest of the economy as we're seeing stock prices really high, unemployment fairly low. But at some point, if this continues, both companies and individuals are going to have to cut back spending, and that has consequences that reaches far beyond the tech industry.
Bro, we need to stand against the companies that sympathize with them. Nah, the companies have our best interest at heart, okay? You should find the richest company in your town and give them a tip. That is perfect. That is a fire. We had a lot of discussion on it. I was very interested.